I just want to introduce myself. My name is Sean. They call me the Shark. I'll get to that in a few minutes, and so you guys can understand where that comes from. Just to give you guys some feedback or find out a little bit more about me. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia. I grew up in a small town called Port Coquitlam. Our town is famous for Terry Fox. I went to Terry Fox High School. You guys all know who Terry Fox is? Hands, show hands. See a Canadian room, very good. In the U.S., nobody knows, believe it or not. Nobody knows. Okay, so I started as an entrepreneur at a young age. I was about 11 years old. I used to sell firecrackers to all the big kids on my block, so it was pretty good. So that's how I started in business, selling firecrackers at age of 11. It was awesome. I was also highly involved in athletics, so I never did martial arts. I didn't start martial arts until I was an adult. I just played every sport underneath the sun, and studied a lot. So studied in sports, track and field, soccer, swimming, water polo. I know water polo, and basketball. I was really into basketball also. So I think I found a little photo of me. I don't know if you guys can see that. Trying to grow the heavy eyebrows. I used to love Reggie Miller, so 31 was. I didn't play very much, so I didn't go too far with basketball. But I was really good at running up and down the court, so that's why I played. Okay. Nonetheless, towards the end of my high school career, I ran a lot of track and field. I had some scholarships lined up to run the 800 meter into the U.S. on full scholarships, and I ended up getting into a car accident at the end of my high school year, right before I was supposed to go to nationals. So I had about 4 or 5 scholarship offers revoked, which really sucked. So that kind of changed my whole life. So I went from probably being away to finishing school in 4 years, and who knows, probably running for the Olympics, because I loved it and I ran quite a bit. I ended up staying here, walking on a local university, awesome at academics, but not so good at track and field. After the first semester, I was running twice as hard and half as fast, so I quit the team. I stopped running. I was like, it was brutal. I couldn't do it. My knees, everything was bad, so I stopped doing that. And then I dropped out of school, actually, and my parents hated me. It was pretty funny because, let's see if this works. Am I out? There we go. It's funny because I used to be a lifeguard and a swim instructor. So I've been teaching swimming and between swimming or coaching soccer or whatever since I was 9 or 10 years old. And I had an awesome job as a lifeguard and swim instructor, making $25 to $30 an hour, depending, on the time of year. And then I quit everything to go wash dishes with my friends at the restaurant, because I thought that was the cool job to get. Washing dishes for $7 an hour is not very cool, so not at all. And I wasn't going to school, and I was just working full time and making no money. So I did that for quite a period of time. It was a huge learning experience. I was 19 or 20, and yeah, my family hated me, and I would never do that again. I don't recommend that for everybody. I'm happy I did wash dishes though, because I learned a lot that I want a lot more out of life than to just wash dishes. So then I found Champions. Actually, Sensei Brooklyn over here, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. You're going to hear from him a little bit later. Some of you guys probably know him already. He referred me to Champions. Right before, actually, I started working there, I started doing a lot with real estate. I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So show of hands, anyone read that book? So that's kind of what started me to wanting to be a business owner in the first place. And really thinking a little bit differently that school might not be I swear he wrote that book. The Poor Dad is my dad in that book. That is my dad for sure, 100%. With Champions, actually, Master Farid, the owner of the school and the owner of ChampionsWay, he kind of ended up being my rich dad. So I had a meeting with him, and I was applying for a job as a program director at the time, and more so I was applying for an opportunity to work within the school, because I heard there was an opportunity for some growth and some other things. So that's why I came by. I'll never forget, because I'd never done martial arts. I think I'm 21 or 22 or something. I can't remember. And he gets me to stand up in his office, and I'm wearing a suit, whatever suit I had. It was my brother's or something. I don't even think it fit properly. And he gets me to start punching and kicking in his office to see if I can get away with this when I'm trying to sell it. And, he's like, yeah, good. So he makes me do 4 or 5. He's like, okay, good. I had no idea what I did at the time. Nonetheless, I ended up getting the job. And it was good. I was hungry. I was super excited. I had a title called Program Director. I had this black business card, and I was showing everybody. I was so happy to show my family. I was like, yeah, I got this great job, and everything's going to be awesome. It's at a martial arts school. And, my parents thought, they're like, what's a martial arts school? They thought it was like half the size of this room, and they didn't really realize. Me too at first. I didn't know what the capabilities of a martial arts school were until I fully got into it. So I had some early success as a martial arts school owner. A lot of people don't believe me on this stat, but it's true. I have the contracts to show it. In my first year, I sold $2.5 million in contract value just in martial art business. So that's an average. Basically, every contracts between 2 and 3 years. Actually, I shouldn't say contract. Agreements were between 2 and 3 years. And yeah, that's how much money we sold. So it was great. And that was a one-man team. That was just me doing the sales. Luckily, I had every single lead that came into the school was for myself. I didn't have to share them with anybody, so they all came to me. But I'm going to share with you guys today kind of how the formula I used to kind of get there, right? Skills and stuff like that. A lot of it wasn't so much that I had all these endless leads, all these people that wanted to necessarily sign up. It was having high percentages or high close rates. I averaged 85% close rate over that first year. So that's 8.5 out of every 10 people, and that's backed by fact. Okay, so much so that at the end of my first year, I was given a 5 series. I remember this is the best picture I had of it. Okay, that's pretty much what I looked like then. A little bit similar now. I don't know. That's my buddy. Yeah, they gave me a brand new BMW 5 Series. So I'm like 23 years old. I have a $70,000 car. I'll never forget the look on my parents' face when I rolled up. I'm like, see, I'm doing something. No, my mom's like starts patting me down. She's like, you're selling drugs. She's like, pop the trunk, let me see. You're selling drugs? I said, I'm not selling drugs. And I probably was dressed like that too, so it was even worse, right? They didn't believe me. But it was legit. I looked at the insurance papers, it said like Champions Karate. It was legit, it was all good. So, I was pretty happy. But after that, I kind of, and I guess that's how I got my nickname. Because they said I sold like a shark. That's how it was. I'll never forget that. Because at the time I was working with Master Farid's, his niece used to work at the school. And we used to butt heads like crazy, right? Which is not good. Not good for me anyways. Fine for her, but not good for me. And then one day we were out, it was like on the weekend or something, and she said, I'm not supposed to, I can't bug you, or I'm not supposed to fight with you. I'm like, why? He's like, because he says you're a shark. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? He's like, he says you sell everybody. I said, okay, cool. So, pumping my ego up here a little bit. Okay, right on. So she can't mess with me. They're happy with me. So I was pretty happy. But I did run into a few stumbling blocks after that. I had some very early success out the gate, and then I went into a management position because I did well. And then I didn't really know a whole lot about management at the time. I just knew I could sell. And I thought as a manager, my first rule as a manager was, okay, I don't sell anymore. I have to manage somebody else to sell, right? And that was a huge mistake for me because when I stopped selling, we stopped growing, like almost immediately. And then I'd have to go back and kind of run back and then start selling. And then I had someone else who couldn't sell for me, and I didn't train him properly. And it was a little bit of a disaster. So for 3 years, I was like swimming around and like I didn't know what was going on. So I had to try to figure that out. And I'll kind of we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I made some mistakes. The first one was thinking that I knew everything. I worked closely with Sensei Nick, and I still do, and he'll laugh at that because he must have laughed at me because I was like this young kid before when we first met, and I was trying to tell him everything. And he's just like shaking his head at me, right? So thinking I know everything, that was one of my big mistakes. Leading the way that I was led, I wasn't a martial art master. The picture of me in that 5 series, and Sensei Brooklyn can attest to this, I didn't even have a belt in martial arts at the time. So I was selling martial arts, people to commit to becoming a black belt. I was literally asking that question. If they had set their goal to commit to becoming a black belt, I didn't even have a belt. And this is a school where the introductory lesson, I'm awarding a white belt in the lesson, and I didn't even have a belt around my waist. So just to give you guys some perspective. I had karate pants and a shirt tucked into karate pants. It looked horrible. Spending without selling first also. So as I moved into management as a business owner, I started spending a lot of money on things that I thought would work, which I didn't know if they would work or not. And I hadn't even sold that product. Or I thought about this great new, in the fall, we're going to offer this awesome boot camp program at 6:30 in the morning, spending all this time coming up with promotional materials or going out and finding an instructor or training someone for it. And then we get 3 people register or something like that. Some nonsense. So I did a lot of that. I wasted a lot of money. not self-educating myself or investing in the right training and mentorship. That was a big one too. Not changing the input and expecting different outputs. So that happened again for like 3 years. I would change my idea, but I wouldn't change the effort that went into something, and I was expecting a different result. And that was a huge issue. Okay. I could do a whole talk on all this stuff, but this is, again, just to give you guys some background on me. Simply believing that because I had a dream, good heart, and wanted to make a difference, that I would make money. Not really the case. And finally, losing the UFC champion. So we had a client. I won't tell the full story now because, again, that's its own talk. I started doing some consulting. Actually, I was with Sensei Nick, and the champion at the time was Matt Serra. So I don't know. That will give you guys an example of how far ago that was. Anyways, had him as a client, lost him as a client. Huge. It was pretty funny. So that's a good story. Maybe later on over lunch we can talk about. Okay. Anyways, move on. Got a chance to make some real success. This is where I'm at now. Okay, that's a claim to fame. As a top line, I owned and operated a 7-figure martial arts school without even being a black belt. So I had nothing to do with my martial arts ability whatsoever. And literally, we had a 7-figure school. Currently, we gross between $80,000 and $100,000 a month. This is in North Vancouver, BC. So we're on the north. How many people live on the West Coast or have been out to the West Coast? Okay, so in North Van, you're kind of limited. The population is, it's an affluent population, which is good, but you have the mountains and the water, so there's so many other things to do than to be inside doing martial arts. But just to give you guys a general idea of the area. So we're just under 600 students right now, and that's full-time martial arts students. I think actually the last count was 15 of those are cardio-only memberships. Everything else are full martial art belt system memberships. Now I have freedom of time. I teach 1 hour a week. One of my days is on Friday, and I was here yesterday, so I didn't teach. And even then, I was away last week, and I'm away next weekend, so that'd be 1 hour for the month of teaching for me. Realistically, I could work 4 hours a week just doing bookkeeping and management and off my iPhone because of Perfect Mind, reading reports and things like that. Okay, I do sales training once a month, which is about another 4 hours. Okay, with my staff to continually train them. My school is growing growing at a faster rate than ever without me even there. So I'm not even around, and it's growing at a faster rate. So I'm going to kind of share some of that stuff with you guys today. And finally, we were able to, we're a martial arts school. We're one location martial arts school. That's it. We were able to sponsor. It's a horrible picture. Okay, John Jones. I'm very happy. Okay. That's our logo on his shorts. Okay, so I was impressed. Thank you very much. So it's kind of cool because you're sitting around with your friends watching the fights. I'm like, and they're all like, yeah. Look, pause it. That's our logo. That's the interesting thing, trying to get your logo on the shorts, because you don't know what color the shorts are, right? So I'm like, I hope he's wearing black shorts. And I was told he's going to wear black shorts because I would have sent a different color logo if I knew they were red, because red on red is very hard to see. Anyhow, so that's just a little bit of background about me, okay? So kind of how did I get there? What did we do? All right. The first thing I want to talk about is a winner's mindset, right? From the day that I got started, I wanted to be, believe it or not, I'm super competitive. Competition pushes me, right? That's why I played so many sports. I just win. Actually, that's why I like running. Cross country is fun because the race is not, 10 seconds in a sprint. You have these, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes in a race, and there's like 300 people in your heat. So it was really fun to be able to run, and you're like literally running down the other person and trying to beat everybody else. So that competition really pushed me, right? I always wanted to be the best. I heard there was targets, and these people had sold so much X amount of dollars at the school when I first started, and I just wanted to beat it. And even now as a business owner, I continue to, luckily I have access to see, how people are doing in the industry. I read a ton. I'm reading magazines all the time on martial arts, or I'm on different forums or blogs trying to learn and see where people are at, how many students are signing up. I just read on the cover of the magazine, there was a woman, I think it's in North Carolina, she has like she does $2.5 million gross a year, and she has 2,000 students or something like that. And it was great because I read that article and it just got me hungry again to go. So constantly trying to find things because we work for ourselves. It's hard to stay motivated. There's not someone that's going to call you in the morning to get up to go to work. We kind of have to do that on our own. I think it comes a little bit with the nature of being a martial artist. Earlier in the day, I wasn't even a black belt. I didn't really have all of that yet. But now it's a lot more there, a lot more present. So it's easier for me to find ways to kind of keep motivating myself. Okay, and that's the same sort of thing I try to instill with all our staff, all our sales guys, and it's great. I've been able to. I'll talk a little bit about getting a program director. The people that we look for that job. Now I've gone both ways. I've hired for skill. And then accepted, a crappy work ethic, and I've gone the other way. I've hired for work ethic and accepted poor skill and trained the skill. So, and pros and cons to both, right? But the one thing with a guy who has got a good work ethic, you can teach him, that he wants to be the best and really push to be the best. Winners invest and losers spend. You guys all invested money to be here today. That's the way I look at it. You're investing in yourselves to be here today. You didn't spend money. You didn't spend money to come across the country or whatever. You invested in yourself. That's the way you have to look at it. How many dollars did you invest, this year or on materials or anything in yourself to improve? That's the way I look at it. And you have to. It was funny. And I probably really learned that within the last year, to be quite honest. I would go to an event like this, or I'd go to different conventions. I go to a lot of conventions on internet marketing because I'm really focused on that in my own personal business and this and other things. And I wouldn't buy anything. I didn't want to spend any money. I'd go away and they'd offer a product. I'm like, I don't want to buy that. I can do it on myself. I can do it by myself. And I wouldn't spend any money, or I try to figure out how to do it on my own. And you know what? It ended up being 10 times worse. I would either never do it. I'd take a month to get it done, try it, make mistake, stumble, whatever else, because I was trying to save $300 or $500 or something. It was ridiculous. And then I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm going to start to buy, start spending. And as soon as I started doing that, maybe I buy now, I think roughly about one. It's funny because I subscribe to some people's lists, and we'll get to that in a minute. And I probably buy something once a month. And every time I buy something between, $97 and let's say $1,000, I get at least one golden thing out of it. And every time my ROI is over 100%. Every single time. And I buy something about once a month. I also invest in my own learning. So I started reading. I started reading about a book a month, realistically. People are like, man, you find time to sit down and read a book? No, I read audiobooks. Okay? Straight up, I read audiobooks, right? That's how I learn. I cannot learn by reading like that. It's very difficult for me. I spend a lot of time in my car, so I have them all on my iPhone. I have a huge list of audiobooks in my iPhone, and I read them in my car, and I retain so much more information. So I read, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich right now. I read The 4-Hour Work Week. Actually, I just realized now that I put 4 hours on there. Last month, the month before that, not Dan Kennedy. How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that's a book I have on the list at the end. I'll show you guys that too. That's been around for over 100 years. And that's another great book for any salesperson. And finally here with the winner's mindset is to sell, sell, sell. So we'll kind of transition into that now. Targets and quotas. By show of hands, how many people have a sales board at their school? Or a sales book or a binder or a board? Put them up high. Put them up high. So what, 4? And everybody else, you guys don't have a sales board, or there's no targets for you guys to hit on a weekly or monthly basis? No? Okay. This, awesome. So great. You guys are going to go away with something. 95% of the room just learned something right now. Okay. This thing is, as a salesperson in any industry, and you know where you'll see this the most prevalent is at a car dealership. And they even show it in the office for clients to see. I find that crazy. If you're gonna go buy a car, you can see a public sales board as for everyone to see. So this is a copy. This is a copy of our sales board that we have at our school, and all it does is it serves as a guideline to whoever's your program director is, whether it's yourself or if you have a team, okay, of what they have to do every single week. That's it. This is your manager. You don't have to do anything. You can come in instantly at any time and know how your sales team is performing based on this board. It's funny because I'll walk in the front door of the school and I'll see my 2 guys come out of their office and they run to the back to update the board. because they know I don't ask questions. I just go and read the board because it will tell me how they're doing. So we'll start from top to bottom. Okay, can you guys see this okay? Kind of, sort of. Okay, the top thing here, it says, it says quota and actual, right? So this is per person. If you just have one person or like a team that kind of works together, then you have it by itself. This is a physical board. It's probably half the size of this actual thing that goes in a private area that students can't see. Okay, so if you have an office that students come into, I might put it on the back of the door, and then keep the door open when they come in. Or if you don't have that luxury, I'd put it into a binder and have the binder closed so they can't see. Okay, but this is something that gets filled. I like it because it's a whiteboard because you can quickly erase it, add to it. This is something that goes on all the time. So leads generated. I have a quota of 25 leads generated per person at our school. They have to generate 25 leads a week. This is on a weekly basis, by the way. We also have a monthly board, which is another board altogether. That's per week. Okay. However they get that, it's fine. If they book one gym class, that's 25 leads. So you're thinking, man, 25 leads is a lot. If they book one PE class, that is 25 leads. That's how we look at it, okay? But they have to get the information in order for that to be a qualified lead. After that, lead and prospect calls or follow-up calls. It's on our board, it actually says FU calls because, everyone hates them anyways, but follow-up calls, okay? You guys do follow-up calls? I see people doing like this. Are you crazy? Really? Oh, my goodness. Everyone should be doing follow-up calls immediately. How do you not do follow-up calls? So someone calls you, you don't call them back? Okay, now, yeah, all right, okay. Okay, follow-up calls, all right? Follow-up calls per week. Who are we calling in those follow-up calls? We're calling, our walk-in leads, or our web leads, our gym class leads, anything. All new leads, obviously, for the week. They should be called right away or within 24 hours. That's like a strict guideline. You get called within 24 hours. Or, people you called last week that didn't answer, people that booked an intro lesson that didn't show up, any of those things, okay? So that's why even for only generating 25 leads, you can still call 50 people because chances are you're going to miss some of those people, okay? Now, out of those 50 calls, they have to book. We do a 2 introductory process. You have an introductory 1, then you have an introductory 2. At the end of your second lesson, which is your introductory 2, you sign up for your program. Yes, you're going to register and pay between $2,000 to $3,000 per year for up to 2 years before stepping on the floor in a real class. That's how it works at our school. That's the system. They don't get on the floor. They don't do anything. 10% of students will actually get there that don't go through this process properly. So that's how it works. Show of hands, who does introductory lessons? Does anybody not do like an intro, but they do like a private class, and that's kind of like their intro? Yeah. 1 lesson or 2 lessons? Who does 2 lessons? Who does 1 lesson? Other? Does anyone do something else? MMA school or? Okay, a little bit different. All right, cool. Okay, so would you do a different class or you would do different private lessons? So no privates. Okay. The power of the private lesson is crazy, right? A private lesson allows you to get one-on-one with your customer, right? Learn so much about them and tailor, you can really sell them based on their needs. Like what your school offers, how it's going to benefit them specifically. It's very hard to do that in a group. Very hard. That's why our group lessons, our group intros, the success rate of that is much less. That's why we don't do it. That's why we just work with this formula, okay? So they book 12 lessons. So put it this way. It's Monday morning, okay? You'll open the schedule. You'll look, how many lessons do I have booked this week? I have 6 intro 2s, so you write a 6. And then 6 intro 1s, I'll write a 6. I have 2 intro 2s booked, I write a 2. Okay? Now, as the week goes, whether you call people, you update the board. That's it. You book more lessons, you erase it, you change it. Someone cancels, you erase it, you change it. Somebody shows up, you write the show up. Okay? Out of those 12 lessons, we're expecting 8 new student enrollments every week. Here's the actual. So at the end of the week, I can see where they are. We're expecting them to collect $3,000 in down payments off registration. So that could either be, monthly payments for some people and one full payment. Usually that's kind of like how they get to the 3,000. We also have a renewal calls for our renewal calls, renewals booked, actual renewals. Oh, I left that out. Renewal down payment collected. Usually this is about $1,900 because renewal sales are a little bit less than our extensions. Also upgrade calls, upgrades booked, and upgrades. You can put whatever is on your list. Everybody in this room should have written down on the back of a paper right now their sales board, and that should go up when you get back on Monday, like immediately. It's going to help you so you know, or it's going to help your staff right away. Show of hands how many people have staff that sell for them. It's going to help your staff right away because they're going to know what they have to do. And they're not going to be like, oh, Master Sensei, oh, can I ask you a question? Oh, can I go to the bathroom? Oh, they ask you stupid questions all the time. They don't need to ask you. What do you mean? Go look at the board. This is exactly what you have to do. They know exactly what they have to do. Okay? Okay, so now leads generate. So I'm going to kind of talk about leads generate. There's two places to sell. Normally, 95% of my talks is always talking about offline. So that's at a booth, that's at an event, that's at a parade, that's at your school, that's in an intro lesson, that's on the floor, that's in a renewal, that's in your office, that's a walk-in, that's a lead call. That's all offline, okay? Very seldom do we talk about online, okay? So online kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with marketing, okay? But that underneath that umbrella, but you're very much selling online. What do I mean by that? Obviously, it's your website, okay? Selling on your website. How many people sell on their website? Awesome. What do you guys sell on your website? Perfect. Show of hands, how many people have opt-in form? That's like 7. Okay. So check it out. Build your list. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about is an opt-in form and building your list. Okay. What is a list? A group of people who have opted in or subscribed via email to receive information, products, gifts, or services provided by you. Okay. Here's an interesting fact. I learned this not that long ago. People on your list are 400% more likely to buy from you than those that are not on your list. So what does that mean? I do not know. I hope so. I'm sure we can make that happen. We'll figure that out. But probably. They usually always do. Okay. So people on your list are 400% more likely to buy from you than those that are not on your list. So again, someone comes to your website and they get your information and there's nowhere for them to leave their information or nothing like that. So now it's up to them to call you or to walk into your school, right? Anybody use Google Analytics? Right? So you can see how many people are actually coming to your website every month. I was shocked when I saw 3,000 visitors at my website the first time I used that for the month. I was like, 3,000 people visited my website? And I'm like, how come I only got 10 leads? What the hell's up with that? Immediately, there's a problem, right? And that's something you guys should check immediately. So write that down, Google Analytics. If you're not on Google Analytics, you got to get on it right away just so it can tell you what the hell's going on your website. Your website is your storefront. Don't forget that. The world is virtual. Your website is your storefront, okay? So people that just come are 400% less likely than if they come and then they put in their email to get like a free private lesson or a free this or a free that or a t-shirt or something like that. If they subscribe to your list now, they're 400% more likely to take action to buy whatever you're selling, okay? And we're going to get into a little bit more detail on that. So how do I build a list? Create a squeeze page. A squeeze page is a landing page created to solicit opt-in email addresses from prospective subscribers. Your goal is to squeeze information out of them. So think about that as a squeeze page. They come to your website, they come to your squeeze page, you want to squeeze something out of them. So you're either going to try to squeeze what? Obviously a name. Some people don't even want that. They say just put in your email. We don't care. You have to have at least a first name. That's how you become personal. Have to have a first name. Power of a name is so important. Name, okay? Name and email is at least. How many people ask for a phone number? Okay. Ask for program of interest. Does anybody ask for program of interest? Okay. Address. You ask for address right online? Wow. Okay. So by rule of thumb, the more you ask for, the less you're going to get. Right? It's like a funnel. Everyone can give you their email. less people are going to give you your phone number, less people are going to give the address, less people are going to give you their blood type. It's going to come down like that. It's very hard, okay? So how do we build a squeeze page? Okay. All a squeeze page, again, guys, it's a landing page, but it's a formal term in the internet marketing world. It's called a squeeze page, okay? Is you get a web form or opt-in box on your page. Is everybody here on Perfect Mind? Anybody not on Perfect Mind? Okay. Get on Perfect Mind, okay? Because they can automatically build you, like it's provided with the software. You can build your own web forms and opt-in forms. Okay, an opt-in form is also known as a web form. All of that means is you can put on your page your name, email, address, whatever, custom header that says get 2 free lessons or whatever you're offering. You can put that right on there. And the beautiful thing about it is, as soon as somebody puts their name in there, that's going to go right into your Perfect Mind account. To your leads. Then you can have it set up so it sends an email to your phone and says, "Hi, I just received a new email from my website." I love that. I love driving around, pulling out my phone and all the emails. New lead, new lead, new lead, new lead. Then instantly, forward, did you follow up? Did you follow up? Follow up. Then I can pull up Perfect Mind online. I can check right then and there to see if they followed up. So I don't have to talk to anybody. You can see it all happening right there on your phone. And it's all automated, okay? You have to determine your exchange offer, okay? So this is huge, massive. The more you ask for, the more you have to give. What do you guys give? Do you just say put your name and email, or are you offering something? Free trial, okay? Free trial is pretty standard. Anything else? Right, so you can say, what do you offer, Dave? Awesome, very good. Especially okay, so now what are we trying to do? What's the whole point of this? We're trying to build a list. Build your email list. So all you want is their information. Why? Because you're going to continue to send them information every single week, every month, every year, forever. Forever, right? Until they buy or die. You're going to send them information forever, okay? So you have to give them something in order to get it back. If I want an email address, then I might offer, get this free report on anti-bullying. How many people have done an anti-bullying seminar? Right? So you have the outline, that's your free report. Right? Or get 10 fat-burning belly tips or something like that. If you're promoting like boot camp or cardio kickboxing or fitness. So enter your email. I'll send you this 30-minute home workout guaranteed kit right now. Instant download. So now they're like, oh, okay. You have to give them something in order to get the email. Now if I want a phone number, I'm going to have to offer a little more. Maybe I offer like a free DVD. Get a free DVD plus this audiobook plus 10 diet tips or whatever you're offering. So the more information I'm asking for, the more I have to give. And that can also include plus a 30-day free trial, plus 2 free private lessons, plus a free uniform, all these free gifts valued at $10,000 if you put your phone number in. Right? Because everybody wants a phone number. That's the best. If I can get a phone number and a legit phone number, it's the best lead. That's basically, to me, that's done. 9 out of 10 of those people are signing up. So remember, you have to, if you want more, if you're asking for all this information and you're not going to give them anything, that's why you're not. I guarantee you go home and change that today, you're going to double to triple your output of leads immediately. What you're going to do with those leads, I'm not there, so I don't know, but you'll definitely change it. Okay. Part of your offer too is compelling sales copy. So, like me, I'm an audio and visual learner, so a video is also a great way. I'm going to show you guys a video in a minute. A video to get people to attract, to kind of put their name and information in the box. Okay. Or just writing copy. Again, sales copy, that's its own course. Okay. But writing specific copy on your webpage. Is your webpage informative or is it selling? I'm in the process of changing copy on every page of my site because it's more informative than selling. It doesn't sell. So every page on your website should have a desired action. What's the desired action that you want the person that's come to that page to do? Do you want to inform? Do you want them to call? Do you want them to leave their email? One action per page. So on your home page, what's their action? Are you trying to say, hey, we have kickboxing, we have MMA, we have this, we have that, plus do this, and we have birthday parties. Put your email over here, put your phone number down here, shake your left leg, punch in the air. Like, what are you trying to get them to do? It needs to be one. It has to be very clear, just one per page. If you want them to come to the homepage and then click on another button, then have 10 arrows pointing at the other button. Right? That's what you're supposed to do. And then when they go to that other page, now there's one thing to do on that page. Read and put in your email. That's it. It's very important. This is huge, guys. Online, this is massive. You make tons of mistakes. You're losing tons of money right now if you're doing it the wrong way. Right? And I was doing it the wrong way for a long time. And again, we're in the process of changing everything. Okay? Finally, testimonials. Testimonials are huge. How many people have testimonials on their website? Perfect. Have it right in your copy. Video testimonial, awesome. Awesome. Or personal testimonials. Have a picture of the person beside it to make it more legit. Right? I'm sure you guys can all get that, or you have it already. Make sure it's up there on your website.
Guys, I'm Sir Sean. Thank you for visiting my website. I just want to let everyone know that I'm on an unstoppable mission to help the children in my community achieve high academic success
You like
and
that?
increase their self-esteem. Hi guys, I'm Sir Sean. Thank you for visiting my website. I just want to let everyone know that I'm on an unstoppable mission to help the children in my community achieve high academic success, increase their self-esteem, boost their self-confidence, get fit, and live a healthy lifestyle. And we're able to do that through our Champions Way of Life program. At Champions, guys, we believe that martial arts is much more than punching and kicking. It's actually a way of life. So everything that we're going to teach your children on the mat, they're going to be able to apply in school, at soccer practice, and swimming lessons, or in any of their music lessons, or with their peers, or any endeavor that they actually encounter. You see, within the martial arts program, we're going to teach them things like focus, concentration, respect, self-confidence, and actually how to set goals and really what that means. And when they have a goal and there's an obstacle that encounters, what do we do with that obstacle? Because the last thing that we want is for your children to quit. We want to teach them how to overcome those obstacles with an open mindset and an attitude that they're never going to give up. And I know choosing a martial arts school can be difficult, but I'm so confident in our program that it's unlike any other program around that I'm going to give you 3 guarantees to make sure that this is the right place for your child. Guarantee number 1, I'm going to give you 30 days for free to come try it out and see what our award-winning program is all about. Guarantee number 2, that if you can find another school in the area that has more qualified instructors, more successful students, and the same, if not better, training facility than ours, I will personally pay for your first month of lessons for your child to go train at that school. And guarantee number 3, after all that, if it's still not good enough, I will give you a 60-day money-back guarantee that you absolutely love our program. That's how confident I am that Champions will be the right place for your child. Again, thank you for visiting my website. I encourage you to read on to find out a little bit more about our program. And finally, all you need to do to get started for your 30-day free trial and your triple guarantees is put your name, your phone number, and your email address to the box to your right, and one of our staff will contact you right away so we can start bringing out the best in your child today. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat.
You guys see what I did there at the end? Pointing at the box.
I just want to let everyone know that I'm on a...
Yeah, so we put that video up and we had enormous response automatically because it's very clear. It's very clear what I need to do, right? At the end of it, it's like you're going to get a guarantee and put your name and your phone number into the box right there. And then there's a box right beside it saying put your name and phone number here and we will call you. And at the bottom of the page, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, it says it also includes a free DVD. So there's also an image that says free DVD and this and this and this and this and this if you put your name in here. Right, so they have the audio, the visual, and they can see everything's popping everywhere, okay? Very clear of what they need to do, okay? All of that is for what? To get leads to build my list, okay? Build my list. So what am I going to do when I have my list? Provide them with as many tips, secrets, specials, and information as possible, okay? I love this thing because it's automatic. I'm not sending emails. I'm not. I've written emails. I put them in Perfect Mind. I set up the filters, and right now, I'm sending an email. When I'm sleeping, I'm sending an email. It's automatic. There's an automatic filter. The day they fill out email, they fill out the box, they get an email. then they're going to get one the next day, they get one 3 days later, they get one a week later, and then they get one basically every 4 or 5 days, and there's like 200 emails in this list forever. Until what? Till they buy or die. Doesn't matter. One of the two. Right? Because maybe they have, maybe now, let's say, I don't know, they're in their late 20s, right? And I'm sending them emails about kids. They don't have kids. But in 3 years when they have kids and they want to come to do martial arts, where are they going to go? They've been getting emails from me every single week about our awesome kids program, right? And it's automatic. They're on my list. And again, these people are how many more times more likely to buy than somebody that's not on my list? 400 times more likely to buy, these guys. And they're on your list. I did not know this until recently. We had 18,960 leads in my email database. You know how many times I emailed them? Never. After they went through our calling procedure, we did nothing. They just like sat there. Maybe like once a year or something, I'd send like a random email. We did nothing with that email list. Nothing. Devastating. Anyways, now it's nice because I figured out what to do, and we started spamming the hell out of them. So it's good. Okay, so how does it work? I'm just going to give you a couple tidbits because, again, this is his own course on email marketing, okay? But schedule. The schedule needs to be right away. They need to receive a welcome email. So the instant they put their information in, they receive a welcome email. So you guys can write a very simple welcome email. It says, "Hey, thank you for choosing, Tiger Martial Arts. We're the number one school in the area. We're committed to helping yourself and your children receive blah 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 blah. Whatever it is, welcome email. Thank you." And then at the end, address it personally from yourself. Whoever like the head sensei or the owner is, personally. Sincerely, Headmaster John Kung Fu. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, come back here. Right after that, the next day, they're going to get another email from me, the next day, automatically, that says, promotion to come to the school. Hey, again, thanks for registering. Why do we want to send it the next day? Strike while the iron is hot, right? They're gonna get killed the first week. They're gonna get about 4 or 5 emails from me the first week, right? Because they're interested. This is the time to score. Promotion to come to school. Hey, did you know? Like the easiest way to get started for your 30-day free trial is you can call Dan down at the school. His number is right here. If not, you can call Jake. His number is right here. Or you can call Susie. Her number is right here. Please call now. Okay. Boom. The next day, I'm gonna send a testimonial video of one of my students who just lost 50 pounds. I thought you might like this. Check out this video. With a link, that's it. That's the whole email. Very, very simple. You're not writing some crazy thing. It's the whole email, right? Now, every week or so, forever, they're going to be getting emails. Guys, this is selling. This is automatic. So you spend a weekend getting all your emails together. You set it up. It's done for life. For life. I can't tell you how many times I see on my phone, subject line, reply. Call now, or like do it now, or whatever our titles are for our subject lines. Okay, I love those, and the best is when I see one. Fine, you got me. How do I get started? Because I've been hitting them up all the time. Yes, yeah. Hold the questions there. We'll have a lot of time for that. Okay. So again, that's part of your email list. There's lots you can do there. Just don't neglect those leads. There was a time when I hated email leads. We almost did nothing with them. We're like, oh, there's no phone number. And we just kind of put it to the side. Now they go into this automatic email nurturing autoresponder system, which is, it's awesome. It's so awesome. You can, this gets a little bit advanced, but you can start to segment your list based on age, based on gender. So men and women, if I have a women's self-defense seminar, now I can send it strictly towards my female list. And again, females over the age of 16, under the age of this or whatever. Experience, depending on your opt-in form. Interest, if someone says, I'm interested in jiu-jitsu, I'm not going to start selling them on kickboxing. I'm going to start selling them on jiu-jitsu. And don't forget, your students are also part of your list. How many people continue to try to upsell their students? 3, 4, 5? Yeah. Your students are already buying from you. They're 80% more likely to buy from you again than someone who is not even buying from you. Don't forget that, right? That's a whole nother thing. Upgrades. You can sell so much for your students, and guess what? It's all automatic. Once you write the emails, or once you write your promotions, you put it into your auto-responding system, it's automatic. automatic. You don't have to call. Your programmer doesn't have to call. You send it out, and depending on how well you write the copy, you can get them to make it's called direct response marketing. If you write this well enough, your email, they'll say, click here, they'll go to your website, and they'll purchase. They'll purchase. They say the easiest purchases to do from email are between $50 and $350. Believe it or not, yes. So you'll send them an email, one of your students, and they'll spend $350 without talking to anybody. Like literally, they go to your store online and buy whatever you're selling. Automatically. Right there, okay? So again, you can do that specific on program. If you have 3 levels of programs, I have my basic. We call our basic our achievement. Then we have our black belt club. Then we have a master's club. We have a champions club. We have an MMA club. And we have an executive club, right? So depending on the different programs, I can say if you're here, I can start selling black belt club. I can start selling my black belt club benefits. Hey, you're getting close to this belt. You should think about black belt club. Hey, you're getting close to this belt. Check out Maya. She's 12 years old. She's getting ready to test. She's been here for 10 years. She's testing for her junior black belt soon. Check out this testimonial video of her on what her mom is saying and how much the Black Belt Club and our leadership program has helped her. And that's going out to all of my whole list of everybody underneath the Black Belt Club that is 12 and under. There's automatic. Oh, if you like it, you want to get started now, click here. Kicks them to the website, to our store, put their information in. It's done. So don't forget about your students, okay? Subscribers equal leads, so the more subscribers is better because they just go into your funnel, okay? There's no limit. You can have 1 million people in there, okay? More leads equals more students equals more money. Don't forget to sell to your students, and don't stop until they buy or die, okay? It's automatic, okay? It's automatic. Okay, part 2, offline, okay? I always talk about this quickly, relationship building, because I think it's important. I think a lot of people kind of forget. Do you guys always remember to relationship build? Wow. Whew. Not so much. Okay, so we're going to do a little exercise here. I promise it's not going to be too hard, okay? I just need we're going to spend 30 seconds. You have to introduce yourself to someone that you haven't met yet. Everybody get the person's name you're talking to and you guys actually remember it? I'm probably the worst with names in this room. I'm horrendous with names. If I don't do something immediately to try and remember that name, I will not remember it. Right? And actually, after reading the last book, one of the last books that I read, there was a whole... Oops. How'd I go there? Sorry, guys. It was magic, right? There was a whole chapter about learning someone's name, right? And that's huge, like the power of that. And actually, that's probably the number one thing that we hear repeatedly at our school. And if you go to Google and you type in our school, you're looking for martial arts, and or go to our Google reviews, there's like, we did like a promotion, which was awesome. That's a little, here, I'm going to give you a quick like tidbit. If you guys ever want to increase your Google reviews, which people are looking at all the time, send out an email, again, another email to all your students and say, hey guys, we're looking to promote our school. And if you guys like the training here at our academy, please, say some nice words about us. Here's the link on our Google reviews page, okay? And if you do, I can give you guys $20 worth of reward points towards our pro shop or whatever for some free gear. So we did that. We got 30 reviews over the weekend, and they're all 5-star reviews. That's awesome because it's all like legit testimonials right there. We just copied and pasted those testimonials. So I'm trying to remember where I went with that. Anyhow, sorry. Yeah, remembering the name. So I don't know. It lost me, but I'm happy that you guys got a chance to get up. I usually ask because a lot of times people forget the name, and you know what? They don't ask questions. They talk about themselves a lot. So with selling, especially in the martial arts school, the whole thing is finding about the other person, right? What's the first thing I did when I got up here today? I introduced myself. I told you guys a little bit more about me because I want you guys to, it's hard to listen to me if you don't know who I am or anything about me, right? You have no. It's a lot harder to do that. So right away, I have to kind of tell you who I am so we can get comfortable with each other, right? Immediately, man, my voice was a little hoarse this morning, so I apologize for that. But having a positive attitude and tone, I was looking around the room. Everyone was happy. People didn't even want to sit down. Making eye contact. All those things are great. Asking general questions. How are you? Where are you from? So, what's your name? How are you? Where are you from? What do you teach? What style? What brought you here? Those are all good general questions, right? You're breaking the ice. And the next thing is you're going to find a common ground. Why do we want to find a common ground? Exactly. Connection. Why do all the Italians move into the Italian neighborhood? They want to be with people like them. That's what we do, right? We're all martial artists. We hang out with other martial artists. That's just the way it works. You hang out with people you like. You hang out with people that do what you do. That's just the way it works. Find a common ground and you start building relationship on that, right? Be like, oh yeah, he played basketball like me. It's really cool. Now you guys can relate on something. All of a sudden you're talking for 20 minutes about nothing, right? But except for what you're doing, you're building a relationship, and that's why I promote private lessons, not group lessons, because that's impossible to do in a group. Very difficult to do in a group, right? I can't do that with all of you right now. One-on-one, that's a completely different story, right? You're gonna let me watch your kids for the weekend, okay? Finally, I'm gonna listen and take note. Every question that I ask, mentally, I have a notepad. Every single question that I ask, I have a notepad in my head. And I actually physically, if I'm doing a lesson, I have a clipboard. Our program directors have a clipboard with like your consultation form on the clipboard, so they can like write notes all over it. If this is on the phone, I have a pad. In paper, if it's in a walk-in, again, I'm going to take mental notes, and right at the end of the walk-in, we have a welcome form. I flip it over, and I scramble everything down on it the minute they walk out the door so I don't forget. So when they come in, I'd be like, oh, how was Timmy's soccer practice? It was good? Oh, yeah. They're like, holy crap, this guy remembers that? You're like, everything comes out. I try to remember all of that. And again, it's all part of relationship building. That's how else personally, I couldn't sell martial arts. I didn't even know what martial arts was. I wasn't even in a class. I literally wasn't in a class and I was selling martial arts. Purely based on connection, getting to know somebody. That's all it is. Okay, that's it. It's a life changer. Okay. And finally, I'm going to build confidence in them and in myself that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, or that this is the right place for them. I can't do that until I know why somebody's here, or what's going on, or what they want, or what's happening. Okay. 7 magic questions. Who knows the magic questions? Anybody know the magic questions? Okay, this has been around for forever and ever and ever. A lot of people, surprisingly though, don't know, or they forget. Sorry? Yeah, exactly, right? So it's been around for a long time. And you know what? This transitions from industry to industry, okay? But it's always good as a reminder for those who know it, and it's always good for people who don't know it to learn it, okay? So 7 magic questions. Got the first one. Will you be living in the area for the next 24 to 48 months? Why do we ask it? Do you guys ask those questions? Does anybody not use contracts? Sorry, agreements? Who doesn't use agreements? Put your hand up. Don't be shy. Okay. So everyone else uses agreements. Are you guys asking this every single time? No? You want to check. If you are not the program director, and even if you are, you guys should write all of these down, like immediately. And then on Monday, go and watch whoever's doing that sales process, and just all you do is have the list in front of you and check off every question that gets asked. More so highlight which ones don't get asked, okay? Because all this is doing, these are uncovering objections that are going to be coming up later in the sales process. That's the whole point of the magic questions. If you ask the first question, you're trying to find out if they can commit to an agreement or if they can commit to a martial arts program. Can you get a black belt overnight? No, it takes time, right? So that's why you want to ask. The next one is, do you have any physical challenges that might not permit you to train in martial arts or in kickboxing or whatever? Why do you have that? Once you get to sign the paper, someone's like, oh, I have a chronic, my knee or my back. And that's happened before because they're trying to come up with a way out. I'm trying to find that out immediately so I can start talking to them about how we can tailor the program around it. Oh, don't worry. Do you know that martial arts is very great for stability in your stabilizer muscles and your joints, so it's going to build this and that. I'm going to start hitting them with those things, right? I want to find that out. Can you attend 2 classes a week on a regular basis? Which days? Anybody know why we asked that? Okay, don't cancel. Humane them mentally, yeah. Also, I don't want anyone that trains once a week, right? I don't want anyone that trains once a week. Why? Once a week, people get demotivated, man. What do you gain from doing something once a week? It's better than no times a week, right? But all of a sudden you miss 1 week, now you haven't done it for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like you've done 3 classes in the month. If you're trying to achieve something physically, for sure, like some sort of improvement, maintenance is twice a week. Maintenance, right? You need to do something about 3 days a week to start to improve, right? For me, I find maintenance is twice a week. Twice a week at 45 minutes. I keep going, right?
Why is that your concern for this?
Because my memberships are based on twice a week. The progression of our program is based on twice a week. Sorry, I don't know who asked the question. I'm looking up. But yeah, the progression is based on twice a week, right? What also is going to happen is if you and I sign up for a program at the same time, okay? You're training once a week, I'm training twice a week. We're coming at the same time. I'm progressing faster than you because I'm training more than you, right? So you're going to see me and you'll be like, man, like what's wrong with you? And you'll be like, well, what's wrong with you? You're not moving up and I'm moving up. That's for a lot of younger kids and parents, that tends to be an issue. And even for adults, like self-esteem and confidence, they won't admit it, but it happens. Sorry, you were going to say something else. Making sense? Anyhow, I want people, and again, to agree with, it gets them to commit to know that this is more than just like a part-time thing, okay? Have you set your goal to reach black belt? I asked this at our second lesson, right? I want to see where, I'm trying to gauge where they're at in terms of long-term commitment, right? I'm also letting them know that this is not for 1 year, this is for year after year after year. I'm selling a commitment, I'm selling a program, I'm selling a lifestyle, okay? Is there anyone else that needs to be, okay, this is standard. Is there anyone else that needs to be involved in your decision to start a martial arts program? Why do we ask that? Check with my husband. Correct, right? When do we ask this question? Before the extension? First intro? Yeah. I asked that on the phone. I asked that on a walk-in. I don't even book a lesson unless both decision makers are present. I won't. You cannot come. I'm sorry. Go home. Oh, Daddy couldn't make it. I'm sorry. I can't do a lesson. Reschedule. Because I'm going to waste my time. You're going to waste your time. If you're selling to the wrong person, you are wasting your time. I'm telling you right now. Don't even do it. Right? Everyone's like, oh, really? Are they going to come down? You're going to send them home? Yes. Or just don't do it. Why are you booking it that way? I will wait. Wait till the other person can come. Because what happens, they go home and they're busy, you're talking over dinner. Oh, Johnny wants to do martial arts. They haven't seen your amazing facility or your instruction or anything like that. They haven't seen anything going on, how good your school smells from the money you spend on cleaning it. Daddy's like, how much does it cost? Sounds expensive. Call someone else. To avoid an argument, what do? Okay, no problem. You might get lucky sometimes, but I play the odds. Play the odds, you're going to win every single time, okay? And you avoid them at the end saying, when they want to sign up, saying, I have to go home and talk to, my husband or my wife. You avoid that, okay? Have you learned the student creed? We have a student creed. Does anybody else have a student creed? Okay. We give that out at the end of the first lesson, and when they come back for the second lesson, we ask it as like a litmus test as to where they are. Because we ask them to study the student creed at the end of the first lesson. So we give them a sheet of paper. There's an intro to sheet. I think if you're a member of the library, all that stuff is on the library. Give them an intro to sheet, and it basically, like, again, it's like a roadmap. It's making them know where they have to go, and we told them to study it. When they come back, we ask, hey, did you study the student creed? The best is when a student starts reciting the creed and they have it memorized. Your job is done. Your job is done. Have fun with the next lesson, and you're basically now I'm focused on upselling at this point in time. I'm thinking, man, how can I get a Masters Club? I want Masters Club, $225 a month. I want that. A student creed. What do you guys teach at your school? Okay, it's like a mantra for martial arts. Like, I intend to develop myself in a positive manner. They say at the beginning of a class. Jiu-jitsu could be like your 5. What is jiu-jitsu you guys have? You have like principles. You have like 6 principles or 5 principles or something, or depending if there's something that's very important. It could be about what you learn at each belt. Anything like that. You have them something they can remember, something about your school. It could be your mission statement. It could be anything. And you come back, it's just a check. Okay. I also asked you another question. It's not technically a magic question. I asked them if they looked at the schedule, because we hand out a schedule, and I tell them at the end of the first lesson to think about 2 classes a week they can attend. And again, I love when they come out. They pull it out. The classes are highlighted. I want to come Monday at 7 and Wednesday at 5. It's like, it's butter. It's awesome. Okay. Can you budget an average of $130 to $200 a month? Okay, or whatever your range is. Okay. This is not our range. Our range is a little bit higher, but whatever your range is, you want to put. Don't be scared to put the higher range either. Don't be scared to put the higher range. Don't be scared. Some people want to have just a premium product. They want the leather seats. They want the rims. They want the sunroof. They don't care. They want it, and they're going to pay for it. So don't take that away by only offering them, cloth and roll down windows. Okay? Don't do that. So moving on. Okay? Prep the close with an extension meeting. Okay? Always sell in terms of benefits, not features. No one cares that you have all these heavy bags and 6-time world champions. Nobody cares. Believe it or not. Nobody. Some people, no. Nobody cares. General rule of thumb, nobody cares. How does that benefit the student? How does having a 6-time world champion benefit the student? Can anybody answer that? Who can tell me that? How does having a world champion benefit a student? What does it take to become a world champion? Dedication, hard work, discipline, strong work ethic, right? Those sort of attributes. Now that's what they've learned. Now they're going to pass it on to you. So now you can apply that to whatever it is in your life. You can be a world champion at your job, or at being a mom or a father, or whatever it is. Like, anything can have a spin on anything. So that's the difference. Is yes, we have a 6-time world champion. Or, our world champions, so they train their instructors to be the best, and they're going to help you in every aspect of your life, how to overcome adversity and stay focused. And when all your friends are out partying, you're not, because you have the discipline, right? So always sell in terms of benefits for the student, not in terms of features that the school has. It's okay to say, hey, this is my feature. We have a 6-time world champion, and this is your benefit. That's okay. But don't just focus on this one side, okay? That's just a general rule of thumb, okay? How much time do I have here, Vahid? 20 minutes, including question and answer? Okay, I'll try to get through this fast. Okay, extension meeting. So, do you guys do an extension meeting? Sorry, I'm asking lots of questions. I'm trying to figure out where you guys are at. So, extension, who knows what an extension meeting is? Okay, so an extension meeting is the process of where you're sitting down, like in the office, to go over your agreement. That's an extension meeting. Well, like, we call it a new sale an extension. Okay, if you remember on my sales board, it said extensions per week was 8, right? So extension is a new student, so you have an extension meeting, okay? That's the only time I'm physically asking for money, and I'm asking for a credit card or going over the agreement, okay? That's in my extension meeting, okay? If you guys don't have a private area, I recommend getting a private area now to be able to do this process. And this should happen always private with that person. Talking about money shouldn't happen at the front desk in front of other people. That's not a good thing. Some people, maybe something's going on financially or whatever else, they don't want to talk about that. And it's nobody else's business. You may not care, or you may not be busy, but it's not about you. It's about them. Remember, it's always about that person. So you want to take them away. And also, if they have an objection, it's going to be a lot easier to overcome when you're in a private area, okay? Finally, if you're offering discounts or something, you don't want to be like, I'll give you a discount. Then when the other student walks by and they're like, well, I don't have a discount. Now all of a sudden you're giving everybody discounts. So you got to be very careful with that, okay? So the first thing that I do in extension meeting is I'm going to go over, I've gone through my intro 1, intro 2. At the end of my intro 2, on the mat, in my gi, what do they say? I'm like, okay, great. So we're going to go discuss registration. You ready to get started? That's my transition question. Yes, perfect. Now I can go to extension meeting. No, okay, no problem. Let's go to the front desk. I'm going to pull up my schedule and I'll say, great, I want you to come and try in class. I'm not going to go to extension meeting if they're not ready to extend. That's ridiculous. One more time. Don't go to an extension meeting if they're not ready to extend. Do not do that. It's not right at all, okay? This sales process needs to continue. Now this is when I'll go. I think at the very beginning I said after intro 1, intro 2 we sign up. There's a few people that won't. This is the time when I say, okay, great. I want you to come and try out this class next week with this instructor, and I'll set an extension meeting. I'll say that to them. I'll set an extension meeting at the end of the class so we can discuss. And then I'll sit down in the meeting again and be like, great, are you guys ready to extend? No, okay, let's do one more class. And the process continues because they're just going to say no. They're going to say, okay, great, let me take this information now. What's worse? Can I get a price list and go home and think about it? No, you can't have a price list. We don't have a price list. This is the price list. You have to pay now. Okay? So I'll highlight all the possible. Okay. So when I finally get into my extension meeting, I'm going to go over the schedule, go over the class. Remember, as a program director or as a sales consultant or MMA consultant, as I've heard it out there, it's your job to, these people don't know what's going on. Especially if you're teaching jiu-jitsu or MMA, it's very intimidating, extremely intimidating, right? For parents, they don't know either. They have no idea. If they're a referral, they kind of know. Referrals are obviously the best, but if not, you need to really educate. You got to educate them, okay? So when I'm doing this, I take out my schedule, and again, I'm acting like I have to be like their personal like coach and like trainer here, right? I'll highlight, okay, these are all the possible classes that you can come to. I'll circle everything on the schedule depending on how your schedule's laid out. Our schedule, honestly, I don't think is that the way it's laid out. It needs to improve, okay? Lay out all the schedule. Explain that these are the building blocks of their martial arts training, and all the students must come to a minimum of 2 curriculum classes per week. I'm reiterating this because I've said it 55 times already throughout my 2 lessons, okay? Now I'm going to recommend 2 classes based on what you have learned about them and what you know about their program. Okay, so depending on, let's say it's a kid. We have some youth instructors who are very playful. We have some who are more strict, right? If the kid's got no confidence, I'm not sticking him with the strict guy. I'm just not going to do it. He's going to die, right? If he's crazy, he's going with the strict guy, right? So I've learned that in the lesson. I've paid attention to that. Now I'm actually here. I'm saying, well, you know what? Yeah, these classes here, but I'm really going to recommend you're going to come with Sensei Malad here on Friday because I think his style is going to be much better for your child. And it is going to be better for their child. Okay? So I'm setting them up, and I have the piece of paper out with me, okay? And I'm going through it. I'm going to have it here. And I'm holding it, and I'm circling. Okay? Promote the instructor of the class chosen. What did I do? Just do the thing. Sorry, this mic is like messing with me. Again, so finally, Sensei Malad is great with the kids. He's a student of martial arts. He's very much about the tradition and respects the discipline and the respect and focus. You know what I mean? That's the nice way to say he's kind of a prick, you know? He's an ass. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's super strong, whatever it is, you know? But the wordage is very important, okay? Set a goal. I want to do this on the board. Well, I won't. But we'll look at the time here, okay? So I'm going to write this down for every single person. And I don't know the actual like technical term for this, but I remember I always see it when I watch like a sales video, and they do it a lot in the personal training industry, is writing diagrams. There's like some sort of psychology behind it. I'm sorry I can't like break that down for you, but there's a reason why this works, and it does work. So now literally I flip over the schedule, and the backside of the schedule is blank. If your schedule is different, or if it's a card, just pull out a piece of paper, okay? And I'm going to write this down, okay? Now, I've been talking about this the whole time. Again, I'm just like reminding them, okay, great, these are your classes. I pull it out, I'll write these red lines, okay? So today you're here at white belt. I want you to get all the way to your orange, and then again to your high green belt, okay? This takes 1 year, and this takes 1 year. In between, here's yellow, high yellow, orange, high orange. And that's all based on twice a week. Like I'm writing, right? So they're like, oh, they're following along, okay? What am I doing here? I'm pre-framing. Hey, it's coming. 24 months is coming. You know what you're gonna get hit with. It's about to come. This is kind of the 1 year, and this is where you should be in about a year. And it's also good for your student because they kind of know where the hell I'm supposed to go. They're not just signing up. Whatever. It's we're an academy. We're a school. When you go to school, you have your first year, second year, third, fourth to get your degree. You know what's going on, right? It's the same sort of thing. I want to know that I should be an orange belt in 1 year by coming twice a week, right? And I should be here in 3 months, another 3 months, whatever. In between each belt, it's hard to see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 gold stripes that go on your belt, or 4 stripes that go on your belt. Now I'm going to talk about each stripe. Your first stripe is a goal-setting stripe that you get at every level. All our students are required to fill out a goal-setting sheet. For kids, that has to be taken to their instructor at school, and parents also have to sign it to make sure that they're following what they learn on the mat, off the mat, at home, with their peers on the playground or in the school. Because if not, then they're not going to progress in our program. At every single level, they have to do that. And they have to bring it back, and they have to have a sign. As soon as it's done, they hand it into the instructor. That's when the student gets the first stripe, to show that they've learned how to set goals. So now they understand, okay, I need my goal setting sheet. Like, they get it, right? Second stripe is about attendance. Third stripe is about technique. Fourth stripe is about their kata. Once you learn your kata, it's also a pretest. We do your pretest. As soon as you have your fourth stripe, that means that you're ready to test. That's what a 4-stripe means. And at the end of every month, we do our testings on either Wednesday or Thursday, blah, 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 blah. So I've educated them on what to do, okay? Can you get here faster? Sure. Yeah, if you're training more than twice a week, definitely. Can you get here slower? Yeah, well, what happens if you get sick for a week? What happens if you get sick, or what happens if you go away? What happens if you go away in the summertime? I'm bringing this up. Not them. I'm bringing it up. I'm overcoming this so they don't have to ask me. Well, no problem. Well, this program is based on a year here. So what happens if you get sick at school? If your kid misses the whole month of March, does he get to graduate in July? No, he has to finish in June. So he has to get caught up. Same sort of thing. If you know you're going away in July and August, then make sure that in May and June, you're going to be training 3-4 times a week. And when you come back, you're going to be training 3-4 times a week so that we keep you on progression. That's an obstacle. We want to get you over there because we got to get here in a year. So I'm overcoming that. Can you put my payments on hold? No, I can't. I'm sorry. You can come and make up those classes. That's the way it works. Okay. We do for that. That's another thing. But I'm trying to pre-frame. Then I'd be like, do you have any questions about that? Hopefully none. Okay. Now I turn around, I'm going to highlight some additional classes about other programs that we might offer for a black belt club. We might have cardio kickboxing. We have boot camp, stretching, sparring. We also have jiu-jitsu, some other classes. Okay. Recommend them certain classes that you think they would enjoy. And now, again, this is a pre-frame depending on the person. What most people do is they come Tuesday and Thursday to their regular classes. Then they come in for the black belt member class on Fridays. That's what most people do. And that's kind of what I recommend that you do. So immediately, as soon as I say black belt club member, what's that? That's a higher class. And they're like, okay, I want to do what most people do. Perfect, right? Now I make them a personal schedule. You're going to come Monday and Wednesday with Malad. Then you're going to come here with Sensei Brooklyn on Fridays for a weapons class. And then they can stay here for this. And depending, they can come on the weekend. Great, done. Okay, recommend them a certain program, and I cover all the benefits for them, which I've already been doing. And hopefully I'm seeing this from them. They're nodding. And again, this is all happening one-on-one with every single person that starts in a private area. So if you're doing it in a group, you're missing out on this. You want to know how we get 90% close rate? This is how. This is exactly how. Exactly how we do it. And it works. Okay? Now I'm going to show them the price. I show them all the price options of the program we want them to register, and I say this. Which one of these options works best for you? And I'm holding my book, right? Which one of these program options works best for you? Wait for response. He who talks first loses every single time. Sometimes it's awkward, right? Sometimes it's quiet, and sometimes a long pause. But you just hold it. And you look at them. I'm looking around. I want to make sure I don't offend anybody. I always tell the story of I had this Asian family in my office, and I swear it was like 5 minutes. It's like tumbleweeds coming by just staring at each other. Which one? I didn't say anything. I started sweating, and then all I saw was the mom reach into her purse and pull out her visa. And I was like, yes. Okay. Overcome objections as features and benefits. Hopefully at this point in time, you won't even have to overcome any objections because you've uncovered all of them throughout the sales process. And we didn't get into what to do in any intros or anything like that. But what did I tell you? Am I doing an extension meeting if the person's not ready to sign up? No. They're going back on the mat. I'm not doing that yet, okay? After 3 efforts to overcome an objection, resort to discount. I changed my mind on this. We stopped doing that. But what I might do is because now we've added a 30-day trial, so I'll throw in maybe extend their trial period. That's what I'll do. Or maybe I'll give a free t-shirt or something. But no more discounts on tuition. Finally, never undersell your program, okay? Be a closer. Anybody watch basketball? He's the man right there. I'm sorry. LeBron is good, but he's the man right there. He finishes games. He's a closer. That's Dwayne Wade. Okay. Every sales, this is the last thing I'm going to go over. Every sales has 7 closing attempts. If you're not trying to close your leads 7 times, that's why you're only signing up 4 out of 10 people. Straight up. And immediately, if you start doing this, you're going to sign up 8 out of 10 people. You will double your sales if you do this immediately. The straight up close. Okay, great. So let's get started. Which program do you want to choose? That's a straight up close, right? I want to pick back Black Belt Club member. Awesome. How do you want to pay? You can pay by Visa, check, cash, or debit today. Which one do you want to do? See how I snuck in today? Today. Pay now. Tomorrow? Oh, can I come tomorrow? No, you can pay right now. You avoid that by saying it first. If you say, how do you want to pay? Then they say, can I pay tomorrow? If you say, okay, you can make your payment today by any method. You avoid them having to ask if they can bring it tomorrow. Okay? The special offer close. Well, I'm not ready. Be like, well, it's the 28th of the month, and I do have an extra pair of boxing gloves here that if, I'm eligible to give out. I only have 4 pairs per month, but if you register right now, I could probably save you one. I can give you one of these pairs. That's special offer close, right? So I give each of our program directors get 4 pairs of like cheap ass boxing gloves to give away. Okay, they're not very good, but they're free, right? So they get 4 pairs per month to push onto people that are like wavering as an extra incentive to buy as a special bonus. But wait, if you call right now, you'll get a second slap chop for free. Okay. So that's a special offer close. You can do that with anything. That can be like you come up with whatever it doesn't have to be gear. Okay. The half now close. Well, I don't get paid till next week or Great. Well, do you want to put down a deposit? You can put like $50 now, and we can go from there. Or I usually try to get half of the first payment. So the first payment, let's say, is $159. Try to get half of that. Okay, $80. So you see, I've already gone through 3 different closes with them, and this is face to face, right? The trial close, the guarantee close, okay? That's when I throw on our 60-day money-back guarantee. It's promoted on our website, but we don't always sit in the office and be like, oh yeah, and by the way, if someone's super happy, I'm not saying yeah, and if you want to cancel, you can cancel. I'm not going to say that because they're already committed. But if now they're really wavering, then I'm going to push our guarantee. We do offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. Did anybody come to that webinar that you were there? Okay, perfect. So you guys kind of saw how I broke it down. This 60-day money-back guarantee, they have to attend all their classes. They write down all their goals of what they reasonably expect to get out of their first 60 days at the school. They sign a piece of paper that says this is what they expect from us and they think this is reasonable, and we log it. So at the end of the 60 days, if they come back and they're like, I want to cancel, and they've only attended 2 classes, they can't. They've had to gone through everything on the sheet, and then we make sure and we find out. And again, I've never had to return anyone's money because no one's ever done what's on the sheet and went to cancel. It's never happened. Okay. The next week close, that's saying, okay, great. Well, I'll get you guys. Why don't we sign everything today, and then you can come in on Friday or whatever, or next week, and you can come in and make your first payment. But we'll get all the paperwork signed away today, right? Postpone close. Okay, great. What I'll do is I'll postpone your first payment till next month, or till next week, or 2 weeks from now. So all I need is a void check or some banking information. If you want, you can give me a Visa, Master, credit card. I'm gonna have to charge you a $10 processing fee for that. But if you can, that's no problem. I get as soon as I have their banking information or a payment, that's considered an extension. That's a close. Banking information or payment is a close. Signed contract with no money is not a close because they can come back and they can cancel. So I need a payment or banking information, okay? And I postpone the first payment. Finally, I get creative. Do whatever I can. Figure it out. I don't know. I'm laughing. Stu, you hear about this? Stu, he's a new program director at our school. Love his energy. That's why he's there. He sung a song in the office last week for a girl. She's like, if you sing for me, I'll sign up. He was like, okay. And he's in a band, so he started singing and like tapping on the desk. And she's like, okay. I'm like, you took the cake. No one's ever done that, right? So hey, he got creative and he did it, right? And she's happy. She's happy to be there. Okay. Real closers don't need discounts. Finally, okay. So sorry, I'm kind of running out of time. I think that's it. Here's some contact information, stuff like that. But we'll get into some questions and stuff like that for you guys right now. But thank you. You had a question? Yeah.